Hello viewers, Super GT here. Let's begin another bloody chapter of human history on Forza Motorsport. So, kicking it off in the endurance hopper. Now, I've gone for the Audi R8, which is a car I haven't really driven all that much in this division at all. So we're going to give it a try here at Hockenheim. So it's a fairly German battle up the front here with the two BMWs and the Audi that I'm driving. So this is one of the slightly shorter configurations here at Hockenheim, as the Frenchman gets a poor run on the exit of turn number 2 or 3, and I'm going to make the pass into this hairpin here. So we're going to cut across rather than going all the way round to the full GP circuit hairpin. So up to second. Now, this race is, well, it was very interesting, and you'll see for the first half things went very well, but quite quickly things begin to unravel. So at this point here, just pushing onto the back of this BMW driver. He has a poor run into the stadium, so I'm just gonna, well, he's gonna look to go around the outside and make contact with the Frenchman. I'm gonna get the momentum around the outside, big drift back onto the circuit. Questionable driving, questionable control over my car. I'm just about going to continue in the correct direction, and then onto the main straight, and the BMW, they're opening up a bit of a gap. By lap 2 though, you see going very wide into this corner, and that's going to give me the initiative to really reel him back in as we then come into the stadium once again, trying to maximise the track width. As you can see, getting very close to the wall on the entry on the left hand side, not quite hitting the apex though, and then into the hairpin. Sebastian Vettel's least favourite corner in the world. I've got through there okay. Very close now to the BMW. It's going to be quite hard to go for a pass. I think the best place will be into that turn 4 hairpin on the back straight. So just getting a kick of oversteer through mid-turn there onto the main straight. Let's see how quickly we can negotiate turn 1. It can be tricky with that big curve on the inside. Running a little bit wide over the AstroTurf. Not quite the sucking off ability on this game though, compared to Gran Turismo Sport, so we don't really have to worry about that misadventure. So through the apex here, should be full speed through that corner. If not, then you took the corner ahead of it, or just before it, probably wrong. So you need to adapt your line for the first corner to get full speed through the second. Late on the brakes, you see here, going really deep, and the car pivot mid-turn, and then coming out on the accelerator. So really sort of rounding off or squaring off the corner, going in deep, rotating very quickly, and then just darting out in a straight line. I think that's the best way through that corner, and it just seems to be a technique that works very well on Forza Motorsport actually. So for those of you who don't know, when you're mid corner, if you let go of everything, not the steering, just the throttle and the brake, the car kind of just, it takes half a second, but the car kind of rotates very quickly, and it's a very good way to get the car to turn through the sharper corners. And if you want to set the absolute best lap times, that is a technique that is actually very, very commonly used. Just watch any of the replays of the top guys. Through the final turn, BMW gets a really good run off that corner, and a couple of laps later, this is now lap number 5. It's still a very close race. I'm still trying to pick a way through. This kind of race may well come down to some sort of mistake or a back marker. We're coming up to a back marker here. You just see the orange McLaren, so akin to Formula 1 I suppose, coming around to lap orange McLarens in much faster machinery, and this is potentially a turning point in the race, because you just never know with the back marker, or the pit stop strategy could also change the race, but with the back marker it can always throw some sort of spanner into the works, and if things are going well then a back marker can easily change that. As we now come up into turn number 2, look for that green Astro on the left hand side, there it is on the brakes. A little bit of a lock up, kind of just focusing on that back marker, which I probably shouldn't have been doing, into that braking zone. He's got a poor run on the exit. The BMW's just punted him a little bit off the circuit, and he's tried to rejoin while smashing him off. So into the hairpin, I've taken the lead, but this is going to happen. Going to get brutally murdered by the McLaren for just absolutely zero reason. And if we could go into this guy's mind and work out what the hell was going on, then I'd love the opportunity. He was actually ramming in the pits. Actually, so I left the race and just witnessed what the hell this guy was doing, and well, it's not pretty. It really isn't pretty. So if you're under 18, I suggest you turn this off now, because it is pretty filthy. Killing that Aston Martin, pitting for repairs so that he can go full speed into people again. And our BMW friend that we were racing just a moment ago, nice little revenge on him there. Although to be honest, that probably just inspired him and fired him up even more to continue the ramming, as you can see, into the stadium. That guy making a massive mistake going ahead of this guy, and well, pays the full price for it. So just another bloody chapter in human history has passed. The guy on the left hand side there just sets off the line and then just brakes and causes a massive pile-up. So just your average day in Forza Motorsport. It will go down in history as just one of those typical crappy days you have on Forza. So this start was a little bit better. I'm just going to show you the first lap or so. The race kind of died off after this, as we managed to get through turn 1 and 2 really okay. See there, it is absolutely possible to respect each other's space and get through the corners fine. And down the back straight, the Jaguar is normally really quick in a line, but I suppose he hasn't got quite the right tune on that one. The Audi just easily sailing by. Trying to go past the Frenchman in the BMW, covers the inside line, moving across a little bit in the braking zone, but I wasn't going to go for that move anyway, I don't think. So he just about keeps that position. A bit later in the lap, bit of contact on the way through where we do go up into third, and that was pretty much the rest of that race. I finished in third in the end. And we're going to move to a bit of lime rock, classic circuit for carnage. Let's see what happens here. Off the line we go, guy on the left hand side not moving, and inevitably causing a pile up. I didn't quite see, but well, it's just obvious, you know, it's Forza. Of course a pile up was caused. This guy not having the best of days, just drifting wide, and a solid start, trying to avoid the majority of the chaos coming through the left-hander here. It's kind of awkward, got a bit sketchy as we go through, trying to be clean and not really make contact with anyone, and maybe losing a position or two than what I probably could have done if I was a bit more aggressive, but just really not wanting to risk too much contact. Through here, running the chicanes, can get very, very awkward indeed, very, very cosy, close for comfort, and just about getting through okay. Up the inside of the BMW into the second chicane. This guy's driven literally into the wall. That is what you call hitting the apex. It's going to slow him down though in this case, as I go up into 7th. So we're going to try to make our way up a couple more positions at least, making our way past 1 there. Someone dips into the pit lane, up into 6th position. So we're going to try and do work on the track here rather than go for the pit stop strategy. We're going to try to overtake them on circuit. So we've got the BMW, we've got the old Corvette, and we have another Audi. So this Audi, I've not really driven it all that much. I've gone through a lot of the cars in this division, and I've driven most of them at some point, but this Audi, for some reason, even though it's a very popular car, it just seems to have escaped my memory, and I haven't really used it. Into the back of the BMW, kind of just braked on the exit, and then go through, thread the needle. The BMW's having none of it, perhaps thinking that that punt into his rear end was intentional, when really just braked on the exit of the corner when he really didn't have to, and it probably helped him if anything, because I gave him a massive boost. But anyway, down to 8th, so a minor setback there. You can see where that lime green BMW is. So I've lost maybe a couple of seconds, but of course this is the endurance hop up. Races lasting around about 20 minutes normally, so plenty of laps, plenty of time to try to recover. From 7th now, up behind the new Corvette. So you can dip underneath and the space just opens up. So I'm back up into my favourite position. Plenty of cars up ahead in close attention. You can see just how close he is behind me. Not the best place to go for a move here. It's very, very risky. I go a little bit deep, having to brake really deep and late, and not really getting a good exit at all. Is the Corvette going to have an opportunity into the second chicane? I think the chance was there, but he didn't quite go for it. You can see it just poking into the bottom of the screen again. So we just about keep our 6th place. 3 cars up ahead to contend with. I love trying to overtake a nice little pack of cars. In fact, it's only 2 cars now. The older Corvette dipping into the pit lane, up into 5th. Can we get past these 2 guys within a couple of laps and then begin our journey to bridge the gap to 3rd? Well, there's one of the positions, a bit clumsy between the 2 of them. Really not sort of seeing each other there. This is kind of my attitude on the first lap, when I was very, very cautious. And you know, if you just get involved in a little bit of contact, you can lose a couple of seconds very easily. So I think sometimes just being cautious is actually the right approach. It's just a matter of when you're cautious and when you're not. Awkward here as this back marker kind of just gets a really poor run. BMW punts the Audi, but I'm through up into 3rd. Sorry, the BMW it was. BMW into BMW. This guy's just braking about 12 years too early and just punt him on, probably helping everyone, to be honest, as he would have just got well in the way of this nicely developing battle. Someone getting lapped after lap 4 around Lime Rock, that's pretty incredible. And we're going to begin our quest now. I said to catch up with 3rd, but I am 3rd. Now to catch up with 2nd, who, judging by the map, is, well, about 2 corners ahead, maybe about 10 or so seconds. So it's quite a big gap, but it's definitely not impossible to reel that in completely. Still have 16 laps to go, and you just never know. This is Forza Motorsport. A back marker or anything can get in the way, and it's very much possible for me to even still win the race. You just never quite know what will happen. So you just got to be consistent, make minimal mistakes, and just hope that other people aren't consistent and make tons of mistakes, or just one really big one, like just driving into the wall, or, well, I mean, there's so many mistakes I could name. You know, there's an absolute plethora of them, and a lot of the time people do make them, myself included, actually. So this is lap number 9 now. Tagged onto the back of the Jaguar, or we're almost there, and we're going to try to overtake him on the circuit if we can. So first place still over 1,000 feet ahead, or just about 1,000 feet ahead. I think we have caught up with him by a couple of 100 feet, so progress is good at the moment. Let's see if we can negotiate 2nd, move up 1 more place. So the Jaguar seems to be a very solid car in this division, so it might not be easy. I'm pretty sure I've caught up because he made a big error or had some sort of collision with someone, rather than just outright lap time. So I think this guy is fairly fast. Let's see if we can get past him though. He can be a very tricky place to overtake around here though. I think this chicane here is probably the best place to go for a move, especially if they get a poor run from the chicane before, then you can get sort of a run on them going into that one. For the final corner, almost flat out, not quite though. Is he going to branch off to the right? Not quite, doesn't go for it. So another lap behind him. Let's see if we can get past him on this one. So you see, I haven't really pulled right onto the back of him just yet, so it wasn't my best lap. I think he's just recovering from whatever mistake he made, which allowed me to close the gap in the first place. So through the left-hander, keep to the left-hand side here to get a better run through the right-hander there, and then towards the chicane, which can be very, very dodgy, very tricky. So of course just consistency and caution through here. As we go in, not really a good place to go for a move. And fairly close, the run not quite on though. You see we're fairly evenly matched on the straight. Late on the brakes, so I'm going to take a slightly wider line than him. Coming through, and well, plenty of grass cutting going on. As we come down the dip into the final turn, the car just compresses and turns nicely. Is he going to bail? Yes he is. He's going to turn into the pit lane. So that's me up into 2nd position. This is 1 lap later now. The leader's actually in the pit lane now. So up into the lead of the race. So I'm going to probably go into the pit lane at the end of this lap, so we need to have a good one here. And a possible spanner in the works is of course this car ahead. So when you're, when you're on an out lap, or an in lap, sorry, you want it to be as absolutely fast as possible to jump the person that you're battling. So in this case, the Jaguar. So any sort of stoppage or anything that can slow you down is obviously bad. So we've got this potential threat up ahead. The main threat though is my ability to get a really poor run through the chicane. Really awkward chicane to get right that. Very, very easy just to smash into the wall. So coming through the chicane, the second chicane, down the hill into the final turn. Once again, I'm going to go into the pit lane this time and see if we've jumped up a position to go flying in. There we go. Nicely done. So third still. Now I actually think I've easily got past the Jaguar. The Jaguar's made some sort of big mistake, but I'm actually third on merit, so I think someone's actually jumped me in the whole pit stop phase. So someone jumping into the pit lane early, getting through. So still in third. There's a shot of second, not too far away. I mean, I've had a couple of incidents in this race, and that may well have cost me. Although going in here, there is an incident. Who is that? That is third place. Actually, second place. Now third place. I'm up into second. So, with only a lap and a half to go, second place getting caught up in an incident with a back marker, it looks like. And I'm going to capitalise going up into second place. So the guy in the lead is a good, well, over 1,000 feet, well over 1,000 feet ahead. And there's going to be no chance of catching him unless one of the back markers strikes once again. Maybe the guy in the McLaren from the previous Hockenheim race. So we had a bit of previous with this guy. Always a worry when you just get ahead of someone that you've had an incident with earlier on. But he's not going to go for the full-on punt. So I'm going to live to survive another day, and fortunately not quite catching up with this big group of back markers. So that's another threat eliminated. We don't have to quite deal with them. So there we go, across the line. I do hope you enjoyed the video as always, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Subscribe for more if you did enjoy this, and if you did enjoy, then please do hit that like button. Always helps out. I shall see you next time as always, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.